Alright, with the Stanley Cup final underway, that's obviously the center of the hockey world right now, but once the cup is awarded, focus will shift over to the draft in Vegas at the Sphere. Depending how long the series goes, it could be only a few days after the cup final is over. It's coming up quick, and we just got the draft combine in Buffalo that just finished up, where we got to see and hear from a lot of the top prospects in this year's draft. It's pretty clear that Macklin Celebrini is going number 1 to the Sharks. Mike Greer even alluded to it at the draft lottery, but after that is when the draft really starts apparently. We could see guys go all over the place compared to where the draft rankings have them going. In that cluster of picks from I'd say 2 all the way to 12, one of the most interesting players has got to be Tij Iginla. The variance here is crazy. I mean, Bob McKenzie had him 16th in his midseason rankings. He's the 9th ranked North American skater in this draft. I've seen him at 9, 10, 11, 13, and even in McKeen's Hockey's final top 32 ranking, Iginla was placed at 5, going to the Montreal Canadiens. And that's where we'll start this discussion, because we've been hearing that for a while, that the Habs are interested in Tij Iginla. They've met with him a bunch already. He even spoke recently during the combine about the prospect of playing between Caufield and Slafkovsky. And yes, if you're wondering, he plays wing and center, but he said himself that he would prefer to develop as a centerman. It's definitely possible that he's wearing the CH in a couple weeks, but again, it depends who falls, who rises. Does Montreal want to take in Ivan Demidov if he's still there at 5, or is Caden Lindstrom too tempting if he's available at number 5? It all depends, and I think it's going to make for some pretty good entertainment at the draft. Then you get the big one. Let's say Tij Iginla slips to where a lot of rankings have him in the 9, 10, 11 range. Guess who's picking at number 9? Also, Devils GM Tom Fitzgerald mentioned that the 10th pick overall is in play to be traded, and on a recent 32 Thoughts podcast, Elliot Friedman mentioned that there's, quote, definitely something going on between Calgary and New Jersey on Markstrom. Nothing's for sure. I mean, there's always another team that could swoop in to grab Markstrom, but it's pretty reasonable to connect the dots that if New Jersey wants Markstrom, they want to go on a playoff run, and to do that, they wouldn't want to give up assets on their team right now that could help them on that playoff run. So 10th overall going the other way makes quite a bit of sense, whether it's part of the package or all of it. The thought of having number 9 and number 10 has got to be pretty tantalizing for Flames fans. You could get one of the forwards, whether it's Iginla or maybe it's a Berkeley Catton, and you could go get one of the top defensemen, whether it's Sam Dickinson, Carter Yakimchuk, or maybe even Zane Parekh. But purely on the Iginla front, I do think that if he's still available at number 9, there's at the very least a pretty good chance the Flames are going to take him. And wouldn't that be something? I know there's a bit of a debate going on between Flames fans right now. Most people, from what I've seen, would love to have him and are hoping the Flames get him, but I've also seen some people say, hey, it's too much pressure on the kid's shoulders. I mean, his dad is the greatest Flame ever. Steer clear of him and let him go somewhere where he doesn't have that pressure. Me personally, you guys know where I'm at. I would love for the Flames to take Tij Iginla, but only if he's the best player available at 9, not just for the namesake. Trust me, I love that last name as much as anyone, but this is a monumental draft for this franchise and they need to hit on these picks, so only take him if you're confident that he's the best player available. And on that front, I know who Jarome is as a hockey player. I've seen plenty of him on the ice. I want to know who Tij is, independent of Jarome. The bloodline is fantastic and yeah, it's really cool, but in every interview I've seen of Tij, every second question the kid gets asked is about his dad, and to his credit, it's probably been like that for a long time. He handles it with so much maturity and so much class, but I'm kind of excited to see him step out of Jarome's shadow a little bit and shape his own story. Hopefully similar to how Keith Tkachuk's son did, minus the trade request of course. This is going to be super interesting, and no matter where Iginla ends up, I'm going to cheer for him. I hope he becomes a great player. If he doesn't go to Calgary though, it'd be pretty sweet to see him go to Montreal. That'll do it for this one. If you want more draft content, please make sure to like and subscribe if you're new. Put in the comments where you think Iginla ends up, and we'll see in a couple weeks who ends up being right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. You're awesome.